guys, welcome back to Moonborn. I'm going to play episode 4, maybe episode 4 and 5. I don't know. Depends on how long they are. We'll see. Someone just left a comment on the season 4 finale, and there's like, Samantha is so annoying. And I'm just like, abso-freaking-lutely. I just keep hearing that line in my head. She's like, I miss Future. I just wanted to slap her so bad. Like, stop. She is so annoying. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Somebody else asked me, Miriam, she asked me if I was going to play, do a Victor run through. Absolutely. Especially after these last couple episodes. I am so intrigued. Yeah. And he's never been a bad ally. They're bad allies, like Justin from Seduced by the Rhythm. No, he's never been a bad ally. This Max was just more interesting to me, personally. Yeah. So, we're doing a Victor / Gift of Blood run, because we're doing Gift of Moon this time around. So, I will not be doing a Fortitude run. I've tried that, and I don't like the way Mia acts. Like, she gets real bitchy down that route, and she said the wrong couple of words to Max to me. And, like, it was, like, season 2, episode 4. She was talking to him crazy when she got back from being abducted. And, no. Nope. Nope, I couldn't do it. So, yeah. Yeah, so won't be doing Fortitude. I didn't like the way that they did that particular route. They just made her really upsetting to, yeah. So, anyway. Trial. Chapter 4. Okay. The Ash Vampiress was delicate. She didn't go inside the hotel, but instead asked the staff to inform me of her arrival. Good luck. I'm gonna need it. Good evening. Hello. Right this way. She pointed at the parked car. We're going by taxi? Instead of answering, the vampiress got inside. Tried to ruin her mood? Why? What's the purpose of this? Being a vampire doesn't pay so well? She didn't give in to the provocation. Sense of humor. Lovely. They say that laughter is beneficial to a mortal's health. I believe it to be true. I tasted an actor from one well-known comedy once. That was some fine blood. Usually vampires drive more comfortable cars. I find the taxi to be very convenient, inconspicuous. It doesn't matter whether you're driving or standing still. Nobody pays you any mind. Mia looked at her clothes. If you don't want to be remembered, you need to stay consistent and change out of those clothes. Your outfit is anything but inconspicuous. That comes with immortality. We're the elite. Our impeccable looks are one of the obligatory traditions. We're status-bound. The status of an errand girl? Without slowly slowing down, she turned to face Mia. Oh wait, she's driving the taxi? Isn't that wise to talk to me like that? What do you think you know about him or the clan? You're overdoing it a bit with your whole mysteriousness and isolation thing. And for good reason. We've kept many things secret for centuries, things that can't wind up in the wrong hands. Knowledge of traditions, rituals, and the history of immortality, we guard it all. Powerful vampires, the princess even, are very skilled manipulators. Those in power don't shy away from resorting to blackmail, lies, threats. If any of Ash get friendly with outsiders, then they will be putting themselves at risk of being pressured for information. That's why we generally avoid contacting anyone. We keep information capable of starting wars. The price for that is our isolation. You mentioned some rituals? She grimaced and turned back towards the road ahead. Yes, among others. That's got nothing to do with you either way. She regrets telling me. What you said will remain between us. I doubt your leader will be excited to find out about you sharing this. It'll remain between us. Stop. I won't tell anyone about this. Mia looked at the visibly worried Ash with a grin. This will be our little secret. Lost in her thoughts, Mia looked at the city through the window. So would we not have found out that information if we didn't, like, antagonize her a little bit? Yeah, because we ruffled her up, right? So, like, we ruffled her feathers, so she kind of let some things slip that she shouldn't have. Aha! So that was the purpose of that. Like, what is the point? And if we keep her secret, and don't tell nobody she told us something, then maybe she'll be a little bit more easygoing later. Maybe. I don't know. They pulled up to the riverfront where Caspar was already waiting. One more short trip by boat and blindfold, only this time it was Ash, not Victor, leading her. Unable to see anything, surrounded by vampires with the slightest hint of their intentions, moving in an unknown direction, Mia was surprised to find out that she was not at all afraid. Instead, she was calm, collected, and ready to act. I have no fear. It seems you can get used to just about anything. I can't be scared forever. The vampires escorting her could seemingly feel her inner decisiveness. That's why when they all arrived, they were extremely delicate when taking off her blindfold. Greetings, Mia. Hello. Good evening. Perhaps you're growing weary of the blindfold. Next time we should cover your head completely. She shrugged. Lady Justice wore one her entire life and complained. Neither will I. How curious. Did you ever need to judge someone? Decide someone else's fate? Yeah, several times actually. She said angrily. Imagine that. Glenn, Lorette, Howard, I've had a significant impact on their lives. Do you have to stare at me so intently? In the silence that followed, the Ash leader's voice sounded louder than before. Well then, I should not keep our guest waiting. Leave us. Oh, I guess they were not expecting that. Despite their surprise at the command, they left immediately. Do they obey your every command? Well, yeah. Are you ever uncomfortable in a hall like this? Did you know Luca Mero? We were acquainted. I suspect nobody knew him closely. He had a friend. The vampire smiled to himself. I have no idea who that might be. So, what else do you need me to do? I'm once more in the need of blood, this time of vampires. Monica? Another victim? You could say so. Vanar has been here, yet you haven't discussed this with him. He's not the target then? That's correct. He rose from the chair and walked around the hall. Hunting around the old town is forbidden, remember? Yes. It seems someone has violated that rule, and even left a witness. A human saw the vampire attack? Precisely. At least that's his claim. Dealing with the human isn't an issue. It's this vampire I'm more interested in. Such carelessness should be punished. The punishment being death. No. Can you handle this yourself? I can, however, you consider yourself to be part of the prophecy. And how is that relevant? I will explain everything in due time, I promise. Is this some sort of trial? There are far easier and quicker ways to find out who I am. Easier doesn't always mean it's the proper way. What is it you called it? A trial? What a wonderful word with deeper meaning. Yes, let's call it that. The vampire then furrowed his eyebrows. However, you're making me repeat myself. I'll provide all the answers later. First, find that vampire. Mia was a bit taken aback by the turn the conversation suddenly took. And what of the witness? You're gonna kill him too? I'm afraid it's inevitable. Is it? Can I, like, hypnotize them to forget? I've done this multiple times. Mia sighed. Right? It can be avoided. There's always another way. Does a single mortal pose a serious threat to your entire clan? Who knows what he saw? No one's going to believe him anyway. Nowadays, hardly anyone is going to take such stories seriously. In time, he will convince himself that it must have been his imagination. Worst case scenario, he will start seeing a therapist. You make a valid point. Yeah, please, don't go around killing people unnecessarily. He returned to his chair. More wine? No thanks. He sat down. The spring, not too far from here, local police discovered a girl's body. Her wrist was slit. No witnesses or other evidence, so they called it a suicide and closed the case. A month ago, another victim was found. Same cause of death and area. This time, however, there was a witness who saw a man bite into the girl's wrist. As she lost consciousness, he picked her up and he disappeared in the darkness. The police don't believe in vampires, but they are searching for the killer. What makes you sure it's a vampire? He was wearing a hood concealing the upper part of his face. However, the witness did get a good look at the lower part, pale skin and fangs. Why are just the two of us here? What if it isn't a vampire? That's nowhere near enough information. Can we go with that? Because that didn't tell me anything, like, at all about where to start. Well, I have an idea of where to start, but it would take a long time. And I ain't got that long to be here. Because technically, we could go get the police records, but we don't have an in the police like we did over back there. I guess we could study it in the papers. Figure out what girls were attacked where. Maybe we could do some investigative work on the streets, but you could give me a bit more of a head start. What if it isn't a vampire? I mean, either way, we need to stop that person. What's the witness's address? What did the police manage to find out? Who was in charge of the case? I gave you the general idea. The rest is in here. He took out a folder. Mia approached and took it. If I have to, if I can only ask one of these two questions, what is more important to me? I am curious as to why he didn't want to involve the others. It didn't seem like something that they couldn't hear. We didn't really talk about anything important. He just gave me a mission. What if it isn't a vampire? Well, they still needs to be handled. So, why'd you tell the others to go out? Let's just say that I don't want to make them worry. Okay, I can act small. And just some deranged person? I might have left out an important detail. There was barely any blood at those two locations. You seem to be someone experienced in these matters. Well, no Miss Marple, but yes. Who is Miss Marple? I need to find out. I need to know. Miss Marple, British television program. Watch Agatha Christie's Marple. Oh, I know Agatha Christie though. So, keeping that in mind. Miss Marple, but yes. I'm going to need some time. How can I contact you? Come to the bookstore. I have a favor to ask, since you trust me with finding this vampire. Can you also stop throwing my phone into the river, please? I'm not going to tell anyone about your whereabouts. He agreed, but added, I'm going to kill you if you change your mind on that. Alright, goodbye. Not until I have your word. Okay. He demanded that I keep our talk a secret. Can we help? You need to tell us what needs to be done. Without giving anything away? I'll consider it. Is it dangerous? Not yet, but maybe further down the line. I've seen a phone shop close by. Let's go get you a new one. We can recover your phone number there. Thank you, please. The shop was on the neighboring street. We get a pink one. Is there a purple one? Why is there no purple? That's way too much pink. That's way too much gold. Can I just get a normal black phone? Fine. I'll get the pink one, just because. I'll just imagine that it's purple. There. Now it can be reached again. Uh-huh. Putting the new phone away, Mia got to thinking. Where should I start? If we assume that the killer is, in fact, a vampire, then the police are never going to find him. I know where they gather around here, so there's a good chance I'll find him there. Mia? I'm here. Let's return to the hotel. There's still time until morning, and I want to catch some sleep. Yeah, she needs some sleep. She immediately abandoned the thought of breaking into the police station. According to the notes, a journalist from a local newspaper was covering the story. Marek Varick. How much did you manage to find out before you wrote that article? And what have you told the police? I should talk to him at some point. Then there's this witness, Jerry Koska. Both of their phone numbers were written in the notepad. How am I going to talk to them anyway? I hope they can speak English. She kept getting dressed. She kept thinking. 2 girls. Vlasta Bravo and Ivanka Andra. I have to prevent a third one from happening. Enough games. After I catch this vampire, I'm going to make the Ash hand over the manuscript. A long pink skirt. Interesting. A long red dress. I kind of like that. The gloves look a little weird, though, to be honest. Or a white sweater dress. With purple gloves and boots? Yes. What else they got? A long gray dress. Okay. They all look kind of nice. This one's a bit funky. It's interesting, but you put purple in front of me and a cozy sweater. It's done. It's a wrap. Meet the journalist, meet the witness. She took out her phone and dialed his number. Yep. Mr. Varick, do you speak English? Of course, I'm a journalist. Who is this? Well, I'm a journalist, but I don't speak this language. Okay. Should I lie? What if you ask for my ID when we meet? I'm an American colleague. My name is Mia. I believe you have some information for me? Intriguing. You covered a specific case. There was one witness, who spoke about vampires. I want to ask you for details. I'm a serious journalist and I have no ties to the yellow press. Again, you try to make a sensation out of human deaths, you vultures. There was nothing mysterious about that case. Leave me be. Mission failed. Mia took a chance knowing full well that he'd refuse. I believe we can come to an agreement. I know that information has a price. You need to talk to the journalist. Good day. Okay. I don't know. This sounds horrible. I shouldn't have said relative. This is probably in Valley. I want to meet you. It's about the case you're covering. Where? Me didn't know the town at all, so she named the only place she could remember. A restaurant where she and Max had lunch yesterday. I'll be there in 2 hours. Is that fine? Yes. Oh god. Which one did I say? Ivanka Andra? Was that the one I said who was our relative? Oh lord. She was sitting at one of the tables when he called her back. Are you already here? Yes. Can you wave? Great, I can see you. Okay, he hasn't run yet. A man sat at the opposite end of the table. Greetings. Mr. Varick? Just Merrick. Who was Ivanka Andra to you? Oh god. I think I'm gonna need time to think about this. A stepsister. I'm horrible for having to lie about something like this. My condolences. Thank you. You see, Merrick, our parents haven't been on good speaking terms for a few years now. I live in America and I haven't seen her in ages, but I would like to know what happened at least. And the police can tell me that they can't disclose any information while there's still an investigation going on. That's right, they can't help you. But, Marta, how did you get here? He's not about to believe me just yet. I have to apply a bit of pressure. Just a little. I toured around a few European capitals, including Prague. Thought I'd use this opportunity to meet my relatives, but then this happened. Tomorrow I'll have a flight to Berlin. This has to remain between us. Deal? Mm-hmm. Ivanka wasn't the only one. A month ago, another girl was found dead. Vlasta Zrava. Also a violinist. Also a violinist. Interesting. So they're going after a violinist. In their wrist. About the same age as cute as your sister was. To my knowledge, these are all the similarities. The police don't share much of their findings with me either. Could they have crossed paths if they were both violinists? There's a possibility, however. He shrugged. Plasta studied in a conservatory. While Ivanka graduated from a musical college last year, she was playing on the streets, entertaining tourists around here. I hope the police know more than this, otherwise they have no chance of finding the killer. Thank you, Merrick. I have to go. Don't lose hope. Our police aren't that incompetent. Goodbye. Nah, yep. Whatever he said. Okay. So we got our information from him. Interesting. After leaving the restaurant, Mia called the witness. I wonder if could we have sent the other girl's relative as well? Or if that would have been suspicious. Either way, it should have been suspicious, but whatever. A young man picked up the phone. Hello? Jerry Koska? Do you speak English? Judging by his intonations, he was quite surprised. With a very thick accent, he responded, Yes. Finally, something goes my way. At least he can understand me. So the only possible reason he speak with me. I don't know. It worked the other time. Ivanka? Not know who is. A month ago, you saw her together with a strange man. And later, police found her body. That her name? What you need. Tell me what happened. Why? Police know everything. You not relative. No speak Czech. Where get my number? See, that's the other guy. I should have been like, wait a minute. I lived my whole life in the States and haven't seen Ivanka in a long time. That sounds like he's calling me a liar. What? I not believe you. Goodbye. Wait. You call again, I call police. You talk to the witness. How am I supposed to introduce myself? You decided to play joke on me? No, I'm telling the truth and I just want to meet you. Why? A month ago you saw something strange. A man who looked like a vampire? Tell me about him. No one believe. I write about all sorts of paranormal activities. Okay, this time the journalist avenue worked. I see. Crap news. My magazine is more serious than it seems to be. There will be no mention of your name, I promise, and you'll be rewarded for your help, of course. After pondering for a bit, he asked, Write my address? Of course not. Nothing will trace back to you. I tell where to come. Oh, that. Go ahead, I'm listening. Hello, Mr. Koska. I'm Mia. Document? She showed him my student ID. I'm still a student, but I also write for a magazine called Supernatural Daily. They changed it back to daily. I'm telling you, they changed it weirdly. I think I edited it in. You can read about us on the internet. He waved his hand at the proposition. Pay? She offered a sum of money, practically all that was left in her bank account. He agreed, and a minute later, the funds were transferred to him. Smartphones, convenient, fast transfer. Mia didn't share his excitement. Yeah, I just lost all the rest of my money. What did you see? What did you see that night? Where did it happen? He pointed outside the window. I stand here. They were over there. Do you just like sit here in your window taking pictures of people? Mia approached the window and looked where he was pointing. A dark alleyway. It's about 100 meters in between. How did you see anything at all? He winked at he took out a pair of binoculars from the wardrobe. So you're a peeping Tom? We can talk about it for a separate pay. You're right. None of my business. Let's go back to talking about the vampire. Every detail. Okay. I stand here with binoculars in darkness and see through curtains. Correct, yes? Yes, I understand. They come on the street from there. Okay, we get visuals. A random passerby would have thought that the man was simply seeing his drunk friend home. The girl was slowly moving forward. Vodka. She was looking somewhere straight ahead. Since she was constantly stumbling and nearly tripping over herself, the man had to hold her up. However, if that random passerby was attentive, they'd notice a few strange things. The first one, that the strength with which she was holding onto the violin case was just unnatural for drunk people. Her knuckles were white with all the tension. And the second thing is how often the man kept looking around. He wasn't hurrying or anything, on the contrary, but it was obvious that he was planning something. There were no passers-by, though. The two of them walked alone. Stars dimly lit the ancient street. The two stopped in a part that was especially dark. The man looked around once more. Seeing no one around, he hugged her, and lifted her arm to the point where her wrist was against his face. Her expression changed. She inquisitively looked at her companion. Never fear, my love. His fangs pierced the skin as they dug into her wrist. They stood motionless for a while. One could even mistake them for a statue. Then suddenly the girl shivered and started falling backward. He caught her mid-fall and pulled her close, while blood dripped out of his mouth. The girl lost all consciousness, still clutching onto the violin case in her hand, while drops of blood kept falling from the other one. You still alive? Her skin turned almost as pale as his. The vampire then picked her up and walked off. He was moving silently. The only sound was that of their clothes rustling with every step. If there was another person there, and if they decided to look closely, then they'd notice a trail of brown dots. But the street remained empty. That's creepy as hell, dude. That's it. Carry her around the corner with a violin. Why didn't you call the police? Have reason to not like them. Have criminal history. Of course you do. Right, I think I have a pretty good idea why. With all the looking through those windows. But even he has a right to live. You saved Jerry's life. Oh, because of the diplomacy thing? He has no idea how close he came to dying. Good thing the Ash have no reason to go after him now. Also, I'm scared whole night. Very scared and drink. Then find out that girl dead and drinks lots more. Mia thanked him for his help and left. Alright. She moved again. It was getting late, so Mia decided to go back to the hotel. Her friends, keeping their problem not to stick their noses into the Ash case, didn't bother her with any questions. They did, however, offer to help again. I hate idly sitting here. It's too boring. How about reading a book, then? Wow, was that an attempt at a joke? You're evolving. Shame the same cannot be said about you, Paul. You really should pick up reading, though. Who knows? You might even like it. Just start with something simple. With pictures, preferably. Alright, that's enough. I need to occupy these shoes somehow. Otherwise, who knows what they'll do to each other. You should try and find out everything there is to know about the second girl. This summer, a violinist by the name of Ivanka Andra played in public. I need everything there is to know about her. Oof. Is it in Prague, at least? Yes. The city is massive. Any way you can narrow the search area a bit? She was carrying her violin, probably returning from work. Mia rapidly clicked her fingers. That means she was working somewhere near when she died. It's close to Old Town. Good. That's it? Victor, if a human under a vampire's control stumbles as they walk, what does it mean? Depends on the person and the vampire in question. Was there no resistance? No attempts to attract attention? No. Then it's likely the vampire has potential but hasn't mastered his gift yet. Uh-huh. Thank you. So we're looking for a girl who disappeared in Old Town and was seen with a vampire. Ivanka Andra. I didn't say much and they've almost figured it out already. Please don't theorize. Let's change the subject. Please don't theorize. Okay. That was more of a hypothetical assumption. It's nearly impossible to keep anything a secret from you two. I'm too afraid of telling something that would violate my agreement with the Ash Leader. You keep your promise. With a smile, Max asked, You hungry? I am. How about we order something then? Yeah, food. As soon as she woke up, Mia got to thinking again. I have no idea where the two girls lived or who they were friends with. Workplace? Don't know anything about one, while the other was a street musician. They're both young and both receiving professional music education. Ivanka graduated but didn't study in Prague. Vlasta, on the other hand, is a local. Should pay the conservatory a visit. Someone there has to know her. Mia looked at the sat-nav. Oh, it's not too far from here. I'm gonna try and find her classmates. I don't think they're gonna let me inside, so I'll have to just question those heading in and out. I just hope they don't call the police. Yeah, because that's sketch as heck. The people she asked either didn't know Vlasta or just didn't understand what Mia wanted from them. Language barriers are proving to be more of a problem than I thought. Towards the evening, Mia was disappointed by the failure to find out something, so she decided to stubbornly wait for the classes to end. Finally, a crowd of students exited the building. Asked a guy with an oboe, cello, viola, 2 guitarists. Oh, Lord. Well, if I asked 2 of them, then maybe. But I'm considering the guy with the girl with the cello or the girl with the viola. Because those both are like closer to a violin, right? Am I thinking of this right? What's a viola? Yeah. Slightly larger than a violin. Well, look at the picture, it looked the same. I was like, okay. But yeah, these two are the closest to violins, so maybe they were in the same area, so they've been more likely to know. Hello, do you speak English? Good evening. Yes. You didn't happen to be studying with Vlasta Zrava? Not exactly, but hold on. Not exactly means she knew about her, though. She called over a different girl, and after a brief exchange, introduced herself. Did she call over the cello girl? My name is Dominica, and this is Liddy. We've had violin classes together. But Zrava is dead. I know. How can I help then? Do you know how she spent her free time? Any people, places? Dominica kept translating. She was a shut-in, mostly up to her ears in homework. Liddy's not even sure if Vlasta even ever talked about anything remotely personal. Liddy suddenly raised her arm and said something. Hold up. So it seems like she got this job at some nightclub. Trying to save up for a new instrument. What was the club called? Something to do with literature. German? Mia remembered Victor in the search. Well, of these, the only one that was actually one of the clubs was Faust, I remember, because it was the only one that had a thing. Well, it wasn't the only one that had a place, but like it was weird because it had like a picture when we went there, but it didn't lead to nothing. But I thought it was weird that they would draw a background for it. Okay. Faust. Anos Favne? Yes. Is she certain? It's Faust for sure. She didn't like it there, but the pay was good. They exchanged a few phrases among themselves. Their gazes became wary. Who are you anyway? What's with all these questions? That's something you should ask first, sweetheart. I should probably go now. Thank you for your help. Goodbye. Hey, what's your name? Marta. Good luck to you. Hold it right there. I'm calling the police. Dominica tried apprehending Mia. Look at her deep in the eyes, Mia ordered. Freeze. The student obeyed. I showed you photos of me and Vlasta. She's my stepsister. Don't be afraid. Goodbye. Lydia was visibly confused as she was tugging on Dominica's sleeve and asking something. Mia left without turning around. When she returned to the hotel, Mia was greeted by good news. I went for a walk today. Turns out it was easier than we thought to find out stuff about Ivanka. She was really talented. Many local artists remember her. I took out a piece of paper. This is the street where she was performing most often lately. I refrained from asking anything else for now, since I don't know exactly what to ask. We'll go there once night falls. Hypnotizing a few artists will get us our answers. Mia opened up a map of Prague on her phone. Right, let's see what's in that neighborhood. Just looked at the screen. Boss happens to be on the same block. No, Victor, I don't think that will be necessary. Looks like Max found the place. She snickered. Both leads seem to connect on a vampire club. Time to pay them a visit. Oh, right. Okay, we haven't been recording that long, so we'll go ahead and do that after I watch these. Mia completes the ash test and the second sacrifice is made. Uh-oh. I don't know if I like the sound of that. But this guy seems kind of like a serial killer, so I also don't know if I feel that bad. Chapter 5. Valerie? Mia arrived at Faust. What now? After ordering an espresso, she took a seat at one of the tables. I'm not a vampire, so nobody's going to be eager to share anything with me. I need someone who spends a lot of time here and who recalls her playing here. She carefully looked around at people around her. Both vampires and regular humans were present, although it was clear that the latter were mere slaves. I haven't seen anything like this before. Back home, humans are treated differently, with at least some semblance of respect. There's none of that here. Mia watched a small group, a young man and 3 vampires. A sip of wine, a careless gesture, and the young man obediently presents his hand to be bitten. He's not even hypnotized, he lets them do it himself. The blood mixed into the glass, mixing with wine. With a nod, the vampire sent the young waiter off, who then proceeded to banish the bite marks. The others in the group didn't seem to care about what happened. Mia grimaced. Seems like there are still people with no clue of who they're surrounded by exactly. I wonder if Blas suspected anything. Various languages were being spoken all around, although Mia had yet to hear English. I just have to wait some more. There's bound to be someone here who can speak it. Of course, the staff will remember Vlasta. Although, I don't know why they'd be inclined to tell me anything. I'm gonna do a search. My gems are dwindling! It took a few hours, but something interesting finally happened. A waiter who brought the order of a nearby table accidentally undid the napkin covering his wrist, as it fell revealed a series of scars and recent bite marks. Regularly donates his blood to vampires? He's probably seen more than the rest. She called over the waiter for a coffee refill and made sure that her target spoke English. She then proceeded to get up and follow him. As he entered the service corridor, she quietly slipped in behind him. Pat the moon. I'm sorry, this area is for staff only. Attempt light hypnosis. Don't be afraid. I want to talk to you about something. Surprisingly, he managed to resist her will. I should have known that. Yeah. Of course he does. I should have went full in. Because he's used to having his powers used on him. He then turned away from me and shouted. The kitchen door opened and other staff members came running in. Damn it. She was forced to leave the club. Took a few hours for things to finally happen. Okay, we have to go through all of this. Followed him. Back this way. And in here. Okay. Fine. Stand still and shut up. He was unable to resist and his expression became indifferent. Aside from slowly lowering his arms, he stood completely motionless. Don't drop the tray. I won't drop it. She approached him. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Answer them and I'll leave you be. Oh, okay. She could feel his emotions. My gift is scaring him, but it isn't surprising. Right. He's probably already experienced this before. A girl violinist worked here this spring. Then she disappeared. Lost his Brava. Brova. Is it Brova, probably? Do you remember her? In English. I do. Who did she talk to? Perhaps somebody was interested in her? I think so, yes. Tell me about them. Are you one of them? Am I? Mia pushed his will further. Speak. A vampire was watching her, for a few nights at least. Then one night, they left together. I haven't seen her since. Who's the vampire? Don't know, he really comes here. Mia could sense that he was trying to hide something. She smiled gently. Come on, we're friends here, right? Of course, friends. That vampire wasn't like the others. His behavior, his attitude towards everyone, not just humans. Everyone treats him with respect, and his clothes, uh-oh. They're very strange, custom tailored for sure. It was a mix of a robe and sweatshirt. Unusual clothes, a sense of importance and arrogance. The kitchen door opened and other members of staff came in. Time to go. Whispering to the waiter, forget all about our conversation. She hurried outside. I like this. Going around like doing little spy missions, being discreet about it and everything like that. I can imagine like Fortitude, she just like kicking her way through. Oh, a gift of blood. She'll probably also be punching the sick crap out of this dude. Poor man. Deciding not to wait nightfall, Mia went straight to the bookshop. Some suspicions were already forming in her mind. The reason why the Ash leader asked everyone to leave is clear now, at least. He was suspecting one of his own. The waiter's words helped to finally come up with a few conclusions. With a familiar jingle of the bell, Mia entered the shop. Hello. Good day. He had a customer, so Mia couldn't ask what she came for just yet. She waited patiently. The man took his time looking at the available books, and kept asking things about each of them. Finally settling on 3 books in bright covers, he paid for them, and with a smile he left the shop. On his way out, Mia knows the first few words of one book's title, Queen in 30 Days. What's the matter? How is it that the feared and almighty Ash failed to notice a vampire hunting on their territory? The answer is obvious. The killer knows the area extremely well. So then, what if the killer was one of their own all along? It was him! Wait! Now think about what that guy was wearing. I think it's him. I think it's him. Hey, are you drunk? Mia didn't let herself get distracted and continued her train of thought. To catch him, I need to learn the layout of the city. I'm gonna need some help with that, but she looked at the book dealer. 2 victims and the Ash haven't seen a thing. The killer is a man. It could very well be him. Tell me what you came here for, or get out. I need to talk to you, or rather, I need your help. He locked the shop door and hung up a close sign. I'm listening. The maps you can find on the internet often don't have info like dead ends, arches and houses and so on. I'm interested in Old Town. No one knows this area better than the Ash, correct? Tell me about the shortcuts around here. Wait here. Soon enough he returned with the map of Old Prague. He laid it on the table and said, truth be told, we're not the only ones who know their way around the historical part of town. Are also the tour guides who spend their every waking moments here and the locals. True, but none of them have tasked themselves with checking the streets. However, this is Charles Bridge. We are here. While Mia was occupied with the trials, Fall, who wasn't used to sitting around waiting, was spending time out in the town. And he'd also bring him back some local foods to try. As she was having dinner with Victor and Max, she asked, oh, okay, he made it back. I'm like, is somebody trying to snap up Max? How do the Ash manage to control the entirety of Old Town? There's so few. We obviously haven't seen all of them. But still, there can't be too many of them, right? True, I'm certain that there are those who handle public relations, so to speak. The leader and a few others speaking on behalf of the clan if need be, for instance, with those like us. Then there are those that no stranger ever comes in contact with, or at the very least doesn't know they belong to the Ash. Uh-huh. Mia, is everything alright? Can you give us an estimate of how many of them we have to kill to get the manuscript? No. One of my acquaintances jokingly said that there were 3 main parts to be effective negotiating: threats, bribes, and blackmail. A vampire's diplomacy? Was he a politician? In a sense. Man, you know him. It's Arthur. Was he like King Arthur or something? She once again thought of the case. How could I know for certain who it is? I'm no detective. I can't gather evidence or follow a lead or anything. To sum up everything I know, the killer preys upon the young girls. He does it in a specific part of Old Town. He picks his victims not far from the Faust nightclub. There's no way that Ash could have missed him. In other words, I know exactly where to go to bait him out. Probably not the best idea, but I'm all out of options at the moment. Good thing that neither Victor nor Max know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I'll just pretend to be a violinist. I'll also have to conceal my face, just in case the killer has seen me before. In a club or at the bookshop. I think it's the bookshop guy. As soon as it was evening, Mia went hunting. The word seemed fitting. She was to play both the part of the hunted as well as a hunter. Ooh, fancy. I like it. I like it. It was when she was standing near Faust that she felt imminent danger. Finding herself among closely built houses, Mia felt someone's gaze on her back. She slightly turned her head, and out of the corner of her eye saw a movement. Someone is following me, hiding in the shadows. Is it him? Her heartbeat intensified. On the first try? Mia could hardly believe her luck. So she hid behind a corner and waited. And as soon as the figure appeared, she went out to confront it. It could be him, though, right? They have a similar chin. The pants look the same. The man leaned back as he had been struck in the jaw. Valerie? Who the fuck is Valerie? Mia remained silent. Valerie, is that you? But how? Only a few steps separated them, and he raised his hand as if wanting to reach out to her. Mia stood motionless. Oh, my love. Forgive me. The man who had killed 2 girls slowly drew closer. Mia waited. Tears were streaming down his face. It's all my fault. Does he, like, start hallucinating every time he sees a violinist? And he just, like, sees them as if he's talking to his old lover? That voice. I've heard it before. I can still fix this. You didn't die. Carefully, he tried to pull back her hood. In the same instant, she threw aside the violin case and grabbed him. Although he was caught by surprise, he managed to break free at the cost of his jacket, scraps of which were now rested in Mia's hands. Caspar. You. Valerie? What's the matter with you? Since he still hadn't seen Mia's face, he didn't recognize her and was confused. She didn't hesitate to use that to her advantage. Okay. This is probably about to be something timed. I don't know. Okay. Hypnosis. That's my strong suit. Freeze. She pushed against his consciousness with her will and the accumulated anger. Caspar, stop. Caspar hit back. His gift was strong. Mia swayed from side to side, trying to keep sight of him through the dark veil. You're not Valerie. He ripped off her hood. What? Caspar looked confused and upset. Does he even understand what's happening right now? What's the meaning of this? He grimaced as he clutched his head and started moaning. He was angrily looking at Mia. He's about to lunge. Wait for him to recover. Try to stop him. Without giving him time to recover, Mia tries doing his will. She instantly picked up the violin case and hit the vampire in his temple with it. Take that. Oh, and gift of blood. The impact might have been more effective if the case wasn't empty. His head rolled to the side and rolled, then jumped to his feet and ran. Mia wasn't too far behind. Caspar was headed towards the riverbank. For a while, she managed to keep him in her sight, but unlike her, he knew these streets well. Had Mia not memorized the map, she would have lost him by now. Left, straight again, then right. Do not! Do not! These are gonna be quick time events. I'm not gonna have time to look down and read this. Oh, Lord. Left, straight, right. That's the shortest way. As soon as he gets out on the main street, he's as good as gone. He ran into the dark maze of alleyways. Left. Mia caught a glimpse of Caspar's back ahead. Straight. There he is. Straight. And then we're going right. I'm catching up. Right. She caught up to him. She grabbed him by the shoulder and shoved him against the wall. Surprised at her speed, Caspar asked, "Who the hell are you?" "I'm the Moonborn." "What does that even mean?" "It means you're toast. None of your business." You're toast? None of your business. "The leader of the Ash will clue you in, if you manage to get to see him." Enough running, Caspar. He sheepishly looked around. The street was empty. The sounds of the city were barely audible. The air around them was moist. Mia shivered and adjusted her cape. "Leave me be. Why should I listen to you anyway? Because I'm stronger?" He twitched convulsively, either trying to attack or to escape. "Gift of Moon. That's my strong suit." Her gaze stopped him as though it was a brick wall. Despite his developed gift, his will was subdued. "Let me say this again. I'm stronger than you. Plus you've now angered me. It's useless to resist." I can't believe I'm stronger than him. He sat on the ground and closed his eyes. "Why do you care? Why did you kill them? You wouldn't understand." "Tell me, go ahead." He remained silent and Mia didn't really expect to get an answer, but eventually he spoke. "I was a newly turned vampire, and she knew nothing of the vampires. My mentor told me to keep it a secret." "Who?" "My mentor, the one who turned me. Never mind. Her name was Valerie. She played the violin. I left her." Flashback. They were walking through the park at night, holding hands. The girl didn't say much, as always, but the boy was trying to make her laugh, as always. This time, however, he wasn't doing so great. "Fancy? I'm worried about you. The illness keeps claiming more and more lives. We could escape somewhere." "Where exactly?" "It's everywhere." "No, we can go somewhere far away, where Claire could never get to us." "Is it Claire? Chalaire? I don't know." "My home and my life are here." Then Valerie, if I was able to make you immortal, what would you say? They continue walking in silence for a bit. I say that I am scared. It's not scary at all. Casper, you're acting strange today. What's this all about? The epidemic. So much death. I don't want to think about it. There's no one around, and while it's still night, we can pretend that everything is alright. I don't want for day to come. I don't want to see Olive. Suddenly he stopped and looked in her eyes. I can't afford to lose you. It's gonna be alright. Yes. Do you trust me? Of course. He was speaking without any emotion. Even before then, I asked my mentor to do this. I begged him. Mocking someone's voice, he said, No, Caspar. You should be infinitely grateful for the honor you've been given. You can't expect me to give that to another one. You have no right to decide who gets turned. She isn't worthy. Forget about her, Caspar. And then, he nodded. So he tried to do it. Did he, fail? And she died? Caspar leaned forward as if to kiss her. Valerie had done the same, and froze under his hypnotic gaze. He took her wrist and raised it to his mouth. Never fear, my love. That's what he said earlier. His fangs pierced her skin. This music, though. For some time they stood motionless. Then the girl started leaning backward. It's exactly the same. Caspar continued holding her until she went limp in his arms. Blood was dripping off her fingers. Are you alive? It's exactly the same. He just keeps playing this scene out over and over again. Her skin turned pale white. He picked her up and walked off. Caspar were moving swiftly but silently. With the rustling of clothes the only indication of them not being ghosts. Had there been a passerby, and if they decided to look closely at the ground, they would have seen a suspicious-looking trail of brown dots. However, the park was empty. Only after a few hours passed did I realize what I had done. You killed your love. How did you handle it? Oh, well, it's clear how he's handled it by not handling it. Why did it fail? I don't know for sure. Could have been since I was newly turned. Or maybe I just got carried away and drank too much blood. My mentor explained all that much later. He finally looked at Mia. I wanted to save her from the epidemic, but instead I killed her myself. What happened then? I killed my mentor. I wasn't interested in anything for a while. I simply existed. Then a few years later, I became part of the Ash. Mia waited for him to continue. Recently, we moved here to Prague. I thought I had already forgotten Valerie's face, and then suddenly I saw her on stage. I saw Valerie. It was her, playing her favorite Paganini Caprice number 24 in A minor. The other girl didn't even look like her, and yet How'd you figure me out? Explain or don't explain? Why would they ask me that? Why is that a choice? I don't want to explain my plans. Ever since the beginning, I thought, everyone in Prague is afraid of the Ash. You don't even recognize some of the princes. That means you possess some real power. So then, how did it happen that there's some vampire hunting on your grounds without your knowledge? Maybe because that vampire knows his way around the area. Maybe he belongs to the clan itself. Plus, when your leader tasked me with finding this killer, he did it in secret from the others. Perhaps he was suspecting one of his own. Or perhaps he knew who the culprit was and didn't want us to subject them to the difficult moral dilemma of catching their own brother. Or perhaps all of the above. Yes. But that was just guesswork. The waiter at Faust saw something, though. And after having a chat with him, I was certain that an Ash was the killer. You were chasing me as if you knew the area as well as I do. I came prepared. She could barely hear him whisper. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He then asked, "What are you going to do with me?" Good question. My life is in your hands. Again, I have to decide someone else's fate. I'm not gonna kill him. Let the clan decide what to do with you. Caspar was akin to a mindless doll and simply nodded. She lifted him to his feet. Let's go. Did I get him there? I got him to the bookshop. Barely through the door, Mia said, "Take us to him." To him? The Ash Leader. He would not be pleased if you hesitate. Do as she asks. Xander is back. Did you manage to meet with him? Yes. What is he doing? Frequenting the library. They just about Victor, him and doing all his reading. Sophia and Arthur exchanged skeptical glances. Van Eyck crossed the ocean to read? Xander shrugged. He didn't mind talking about the weather, although he had prevented any attempts at discussing his plans. This dude looks like he's withering away! He's so translucent! Oh wait, I can't get over that, I'm sorry. In the meantime, he's being followed. It doesn't seem like he's aware of that. Angel Mora sent his favorite to Prague, and not just her, but a whole group of unpleasant characters. Agatha is clearly trying to find something, asking around about Van Eyck. Did you recognize her escort? Yes, they're the annoying kind. Victor needs our help. We should warn him. No, you have seen it yourself. He absolutely refuses to talk to us. There will be blood. Maybe it's for the better. At least that'll get this thing moving. The same vampires present during the first meeting were in the hall. The young man spoke first. Greetings. You look a bit off tonight. Owing to the prior chase, Mia looked rather unkempt, to say the least. Carefully looking at herself, she tried in vain to dust herself off. Is it customary where you're from to attend meetings looking like this? Oh my god. Oh, you pale rat. No, I have my reasons. Is this really important? Finally, the Ash Leader spoke. It is a trifle, however. We are etiquette bound, and I'm sure that you'll find it much more comfortable to continue this discussion later. Sister, show our guest where she can get changed. Oh my god, are they serious? Silently, the two of them left the hall. They followed the corridor to a room with clean clothes and a mirror. Oh my god. Practical Ash attire. That's pretty dope. Serene Ash attire. Okay. White Ash attire. No. Nope. Simple Ash attire. That's kind of cool. I like that. Kind of feeling this one though. I know how I feel about that. And while I could get down with the top, this has me questioning everything. So I'm just gonna go with this one. I'll leave it at that. Your cape and hood were added to the wardrobe. Quickly getting ready, she returned to the hall. It was as though they hadn't spoken at all since she left, including Caspar. So, have you done as I asked? Yes. Mia told everything she managed to find out. The other vampires remained silent, each of their faces displaying a different emotion: anger, confusion, indifference, disgust. I found the killer and I brought him before you. Caspar looked indifferent, as though he wasn't the subject of discussion. What you do with him is your call. When did you figure out it was him? Don't explain anything. Explain. Why did he ask me this? Mia repeated what she told Caspar, although added, So how do you catch a killer that knows this place inside and out? I had to go to the bookshop and ask them to show me the shortcuts and dead ends. And what if the book dealer was the killer? I thought it was you too, to be fair. Well, I was taking a risk. Thank you for clarifying. Your reputation with the Ash Clan has increased. By explaining myself? I feel like it would be kind of rude to just be like, nah, I ain't telling you shit. It's like, Thank you for clarifying. Your turn. You knew from the very start that it was Caspar. Me understood that there wasn't going to be an answer. So anyway, he stood up looking at Caspar. You've disobeyed me. You've attracted attention to the ash and as such put them in danger. I forgive you. The clan forgives you. The hypnotized Caspar started slightly swaying. But can you forgive yourself? He replied with a soft, no. The leader's voice echoed throughout the hall. Then be your own executioner, and punish yourself the way you see fit. Caspar smiled peacefully. Then with an insanely quick movement, he slit his own throat. It was a wet, crunching sound. Blood started spewing from the exposed artery. Deeply shocked, Mia couldn't look away. Nothing happened for a few brief moments. Then the young man picked up the body and carried it out of the hall. Mia demanded, I want the manuscript. Right now? Perhaps you should rest. No. You waste enough of my time. Give me the script. Now. Alright. In any case, the second victim has been sacrificed. Wait here, Mia. He headed towards the exit and motioned the young man and a book dealer to follow. A few minutes later, when the doors opened, the leader was standing there, casket in hand. The book dealer came in afterward. The last one to enter was... He was carefully carrying a sleeping girl. Sorry, I'm like so freaked out I can't even get my buttons correct. One last trial remains. Dude. And one last victim. I'm not killing that girl. They tripping, dude. Oh, this is the song I was talking about! But I'm gonna turn it off because it's probably copyright. What are Victor's friends up to? I kind of feel bad for Caspar, but you can't just run around killing folks like that just because you're hallucinating your girlfriend who you accidentally killed, and I really do wonder why it went wrong. Like, is it like, how old do you have to be before you can successfully turn somebody? Like, is there really like a time limit? Like, you can't do it immediately? Or did he just like drink too much? Because he was new and he didn't know where to stop. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and show this video some love. Show the like button some love. Subscribe to see more content like this. And I will see you next time. Bye.